it's Jordana Bryant. I'm so happy that you found my new podcast, New Friends. I wanted to create a space where we could talk about things that I feel like people our age don't really talk about. My hope is that by us kind of coming on here and talking about some of those things, that you would feel like you can have those conversations with the people in your life. I am going to be bringing on a bunch of guests. I'll also be doing some episodes that are just me answering questions. So please share your questions. Leave them in the comments. DM me on Instagram. I would love to answer as many as I can. And I really hope you'll stick with me through this journey. And thank you so much for checking this out. I can't wait to join you in the next episode. Hey, welcome to the very first episode of New Friends. I'm Jordana Bryant, and today we have a very special guest. I thought it was only fitting for the first episode of New Friends to have my best friend on, Lily Grace.
Yay! I'm so happy to be here. Congratulations on the podcast. This is massive.
Gosh. Thank you for being here.
I'm
so excited. I feel like we always just, I don't know, talk for hours. So I'm like, this is perfect.
So yeah. This is like a VIP ticket.
I know. I'm like, when we were talking about it only being like 20, 30 minutes, I'm like, that's going to be tough.
20 or 30 minutes? Please. That's like the start of the story.
We need like 2 or 3 hours. So this will be a 10-part series.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we met 2 years ago at CRS, right?
Yes.
And it was it Zach Kuhn who introduced us?
No. I think I was like the crazy stalker girl. And we were friends on social media.
Oh my gosh, yes, you're right. Mm-hmm. Yes, we were following each other on TikTok.
And it's always weird because I'm like, do I like walk up and be like, hey, I know you?
Yeah,
but then we'd like messaged a little bit. So I was like to Zach, I was like, I feel like I know that girl from social media, but I'm kind of like, I don't want to go and say hi. That's awkward.
No,
and he was
I've
like,
done that just so,
yes. And he walked me over and I'm like, hi, we follow each other on TikTok. We should be friends.
That's
the same,
amazing.
You know, and then we connected. So
I feel like I always feel so uncomfortable going up to people, even if we follow each other on like socials.
Big time.
But like, I feel like every single time I have, it's always like worked out.
Shoot your shot, guys. Shoot your shot.
This is your sign.
Please.
Go up to someone because they might be your new best friend in 2 years.
It worked for us.
You never know. It did work for us. And for anyone who doesn't really know us, we're both artists, songwriters. We both live in Nashville, finally. Because Lily's from Australia, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, if you can't hear the accent yet. She can try. We've been doing all this accent content.
I'm working on mine. It's not there yet. It's a little bit...
she's Britishly there yet, but
Cleo, I know. That's the only thing I can do.
That's the thing that every single American goes to.
Oh, yeah. They're like, this is the one phrase I could say
Big
in
time.
Australian. Not the point. Okay, so Lily's from Australia. So she was here for like a minute, and then... You were back in Australia. We hung out like a year ago when you were back in Nashville. And then really it was like October, like you FaceTimed me.
I so randomly FaceTimed you. And I was like, I feel like calling Jordana. And I called you. And then we talked.
And I was in the airport.
Oh my gosh. And we were debriefing. And it was like the right time.
We both had so much going on in like our relationship, in our dating life. Literally. And I was like, I need to like call you later when I can
give you all the
details. You the proper. I was like trying to whisper through the phone.
It was so fun. You're there with like AirPods in.
I'm like, let me call you when I'm back home and I can actually give you the full backstory.
Big time.
And then we just started FaceTiming and talking like literally every day after that.
I know, and now like literally like number one person in my life, which is crazy. So we love this.
And Lily's finally moved to Nashville.
She has a visa and she lives here.
Like since like a month ago, right? Something like that.
It got approved like 4 months ago, but I got here like 2.5. So
2.5 months ago. Wow, that's wild.
So exciting.
Isn't that crazy? Oh my gosh.
It's great. Best friends can be best friends again.
It's so true. And the miles don't matter.
They do not. Because we can buy a plane ticket and come from Australia.
Okay, so I feel like neither of us have really been in a serious relationship before.
No.
And we were talking about this, and I think part of it is like when you're focused on your career.
Sure.
Like it just doesn't leave as much time for relationships. But I also think that too, it's like, I definitely feel like in the last few years, COVID made it a little weird for me. Like I was in high school when COVID hit, and it just made it so that like you didn't really have a social like scene. And like, you know, I feel like also when COVID hit, like we were obviously virtual for that first year, like freshman year, but then like I kind of just chose to be virtual for sophomore year so I could be in Nashville, and then after that I was just coming back and forth to Nashville so much, and with you like traveling for
Big
shows
time.
and stuff.
Same with like on the weekends. Didn't you like go to New York City for lessons and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
as well?
I would be going to New York like every other weekend for voice lessons.
Well,
and
every other
stuff.
kid is like having sleepovers.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like for me it was shows.
And you were gigging, right?
Every single weekend since I was like 12. Like that was just my thing. But same with you. Like I feel like my upbringing kind of was a bit different in the way kids were doing like, you know, after school sports and stuff. Like that was my time when I had to write my songs and do my thing. And we like talk about this a lot. Like a normal job I think is a little bit different in that way sometimes, where like you show up, you do your job and you leave. Like there's not really an off switch as much with what we're doing because you pour so much into it. Totally. You always want to put as much into it back into it. So I feel like that's the difference. Like it's not like it was ever like, oh, I've done my work, I'm done. Like it's
now
I can always do more
like,
kind of thing. And that's
totally. And I also
sacrifice.
think that like when you're trying to get a good group of friends or like, you know, I feel like once you say no a few times because you're busy or whatever, they stop inviting you, you know?
Sure.
They're like, oh, she's too busy, or oh, she's just making excuses. She doesn't want to hang out. So
They
then
take
you
it
like
personally sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
and then
I'm
like, I promise I am literally working. And then you like don't get any more invites. And then it's just like I feel like most relationships now kind of develop because of like you're in a group like friendship setting or whatever.
Unless we try Hinge, which we did recently.
Yeah.
Side eye.
I mean,
okay,
the success rate is low there, but
do we have like, wait, you just had your first kiss like a few months ago. Tell us like the backstory for that, please.
Oh, okay. I feel like upon reflection, I think it was just that like, I felt like, was it weird that I like hadn't had my first kiss till I was 19, and like now I'm like no, because like I was, you know, doing other things, focused on other things. But I think at the time I was like, I really just like want to, you know, like I want to know what it's like to date someone, to like, you know, have those experiences, whatever. And so yeah, gosh, it was like maybe October. Gosh, I really hope he doesn't see this because he definitely did not know it was my first kiss.
Is he still following you?
Yeah, he'll like my posts occasionally. But yeah, I was visiting my friend at college, and I think that like I didn't really like, I had no like understanding like walking into it. I was like,
was it awkward? Did you like?
I mean,
do you want to give us the details or not?
It was awkward because I was just nervous, you know?
That was me too. I was so nervous. I was just freaking out.
Yeah. I mean,
what to do.
like, I feel like it was a good thing that like he initiated it.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of guys like do the like, can I kiss you? And that's such a like I know it's like
please.
It's sweet because you're like asking me for consent, but no, he was kind of just, what did he say? He was like, oh, like your friend is like gonna be so mad at me, blah blah blah. And I was like, no, she won't. Like,
wait, okay. So if we're like new to this whole dating experience, surely there's like some like pathetic boy stories in there.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
Do we have like
we have so many pathetic.
What is the most pathetic thing you've done in dating and romance?
Okay, well, I would say two things. One, I think it was that like I became attached after the fact, like after I had my first kiss with this guy, because I think I like wanted it to be special.
Sure.
And like, you know, like we don't live in the same place. Like obviously it wasn't going to be a relationship, but I think I wanted afterwards. I was like, oh man,
and I
like
supported the delusion completely
that to
too.
be a relationship, you know. But I would say most pathetic thing I've done. Gosh, okay, I was in 8th grade. I must have been 13, and I liked this guy. We were in a play together. We played like love interest.
Okay, beautiful.
And he wasn't making a move, and I knew that he liked me, and he knew that I liked him.
What did you do?
And so, oh my god. So I was with my cousin, and we texted him from her phone number a message that said, "Hi, I'm a fortune teller that texts random numbers their fortunes. This is your sign to ask the girl you like out. She's into you too." He definitely knew that was me.
Did he ask you out?
Yes, he did.
So it's a success story.
I think we only went on one date, but
hey, the strategy worked. Next time,
the strategy worked.
I feel like I'm always, when I'm being immature and I don't want to tell someone how I feel, I'm like, I wish someone could just tell them for me.
Right?
Maybe I need to hire a fortune teller to do it for me.
I'm happy to text them from my phone number. What about you?
There's a few. there was this, I think the lowest point for me, and I can't even believe I'm sharing this on the internet, but I saw this, I was scrolling on TikTok and I liked this guy and he kind of like pulled away a little bit. And this girl had posted and she was like, when you hired a witch on Etsy.
Oh my God, wait, I know
And she
what you're
posted
talking about.
a love spell. And then the guy came back and I spent $25 and hired a witch
Lily.
to cast a love spell on this guy, which is humiliating.
Oh my
It didn't
gosh.
work. I wasted $25.
I don't know. I mean,
just think that is crazy.
I don't know if it was a waste though, because
it was an investment towards the future.
you were also like moving to the US and he was in Australia.
Exactly.
So like
maybe he just had to contain himself and have
exactly.
self-control.
It definitely worked. I thought you were gonna say the thing about your grandma.
Oh, did we share this too?
Yes.
Okay. I was dating this guy, ended on good terms, all the things. You know this story. You've heard it through and through.
Oh yeah.
But
Big fan of the story. Not big fan of him, but big fan of the story.
Okay, well, best friends never like the guys you're dating. That's just
So true.
Full stop fact. But he owns grocery stores and he totally follows me, so he'll see this. But
That's okay.
my grandma, she lives just near where the stores are. And her like retirement village does like day trips. They go to shopping centers, they go to like cafes, all the things. And I was trying to convince the grandmas and I was like, guys, I have a great day trip idea for you. And they were like, what's the day trip? I was like, well, why don't we go and tour like all the local shopping centers, grocery stores, and put you guys in Lily Grace t-shirts.
Iconic.
Could you imagine if we found his store and like 17 old ladies pull up, like 17-year-old ladies with Lily Grace t-shirts? I would just, what would you think? What would you say to that? I would be so shocked.
I would be like, wow, I
love the effort.
I missed out. She's so
You're my
cool.
soulmate.
She's famous.
Could you imagine?
That is
But like
amazing.
the funniest part was I was fully planning on sending them to like the counter
Yeah.
and have them check out with something like
Oh,
the tiniest
for
thing, like
sure.
an apple, a banana,
Yeah,
whatever
one
it may
like
be.
$4
And there's
item.
like 17 ladies in line. Hi.
It's gonna be like, wow, her demographic is like really
She's really
old.
converting to the old ones, isn't she?
That is amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was like your first kind of relationship, right? Ish. Well, you
Not
had
exactly
one like kind of thing.
a really
before
healthy
it.
one though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Did you feel like before that you were like missing out, and did you feel like a time pressure of like, oh, I want to like have a real relationship and like have these experiences?
Sure. And for me, I feel like my story is a little different because I was trying to move to America and that's been my goal
Yep.
for such a long time. Like since I was 13, like I knew I wanted to come to Nashville. And when you're pursuing that process, like it's a long journey to get everything sorted and make everything happen. And even if I wanted to see someone, like I knew my goal was to come to America. So it wasn't exactly a long-term thing as much. But I think everything's a compromise and you surely relate to this. Like I don't regret investing time in my career. I don't regret investing time into my family and friendships and stuff like that. But I think it'd be naive to say that I don't like wonder what that would be like as well, because that is like a big part of growing experience and also like in writing rooms, like when we're writing songs and stuff.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I feel like a lot of the ideas I'm coming in with are from a very naive perspective because I don't have that like thorough relationship experience that some people do. What about you? Do you think you feel like you missed out at all? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was definitely a point where like in high school I was just determined to not like get distracted by a relationship, you know? No one asked me out, so that wasn't a problem.
Sure, they wanted to. They're just intimidated by your beauty, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
But I think that like as I moved to Nashville when I was 16.
Yeah.
So there was a big age gap between me and everyone else. And I think I underestimated, like, if I was 24 and I was meeting someone who was 16, I would not be like, or like if I was meeting a guy who was 16, I would not be like, hey, that's like a contender.
No.
I'd be like, wow, that's like a young person, like that very different stage of life. But I think that when I was 16, I was like, no one's asking me out. Like, you know.
But if you've moved to a new city at 16 and are pursuing something online, that's a very different pathway to someone who's in high school.
Totally. And I think that like my mom was always like, you know, just wait until you're like, you know, 18, 19, like 21, and it'll be a lot different. It'll like open it up. And I mean, I do feel like in the last because literally, like, no one had ever really asked me out. And then in the last, like, few months, I feel like since I've been, like, going, you know, in more social settings and stuff more, and, like, obviously, like, being on Hinge and stuff.
Yeah.
There's more opportunity there, but I feel like it's happened, like, there's been more opportunities there, but I definitely think that, like, I felt a little bit like, is it, you know, am I going to find myself where the guy that I would want to date has had so much more experience than me. He's been in a long-term relationship. He knows what he wants. Like, there's just like a imbalance, and is that going to make it hard to have like relationships going forward, you know?
Sure. And I think like, I don't even know, like, would you date a musician?
You know, I don't know that I would.
I don't think so either.
I feel like it's just awkward because you see them out like all
Everywhere.
the time, and you know all of their exes. Like the one guy who liked both of our Hinge profiles.
This happened. Yeah. This happened.
He started hitting on me when like I first moved to town.
I need to jump in here too, because you're in my Hinge profile and I'm in your Hinge profile is the funniest part about this. This man could not have possibly, and you post me.
Yeah, literally.
Wait, can we tell a funny Hinge story?
Oh my gosh.
Can we tell a funny Hinge story?
Okay, wait. We need to set the scene.
Okay, you give the background.
Okay, we give the background. So I was briefly seeing this guy in December, who I met on Hinge.
I also don't like him. Just for the
yeah,
context.
I don't like him either. I don't know. It was only like a few weeks, maybe like 5 dates. But he came on very strong. Like,
yeah, he did.
He at the beginning was making all these plans for months out. You know, talking about, oh, you need to like, when you're where I'm from, like in California, you need to try this restaurant. Blah blah blah.
He was
like
pursuing.
Yeah, hardcore. Like he would double text me. He would like respond to my snaps after like 30 seconds. Like, very hardcore. And anyway, he ended up ghosting me.
Love that for you. And he liked my Hinge profile.
Yes,
it has Jordana in it, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like the audacity of this man. But so I was like, I just want to see. Like, I'm just curious what his profile looks like.
Yeah. So I texted Jane. I was like, what do you want me to do?
And so we were on FaceTime and we were doing a screen share.
And so much fun.
I see the last photo on his Hinge profile is a photo that he took on a date while we were at this like nice formal event. And I was like,
so
what?
Crazy.
Like, that just made me upset. And so I was like, let's
slid in. And I was like, that last photo on your profile is so cute. Where did you take it?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He was like, oh, it was in December at this like formal. And we were like,
and I was
like, who did you go with?
And he was like, oh, some girl.
Yeah, he was like, well, no, you know what he said? He said, like, I went with my friends and then we went to Broadway with our dates, in quotes.
Yes.
And I was like,
dates.
Date, in quote. Excuse me, sir. And so you responded, date, quote, question mark. And then he said, I don't have a girlfriend if that's what you're asking.
That's not what I was asking.
That's not what we're asking. And then he said, oh, like, she was nothing. It was no one. Like, she was no one. It was nothing. Whatever. And I was like,
we're sitting here side-eyeing the chat.
Interesting.
Anyway, I ended up getting blocked and unadded. But
well, you know what? We had some closure there.
I think so.
Definitely closure. I feel like that was another experience where, like, if I'm honestly reflecting on it now, I feel like I probably rushed into things because I was like excited about like, okay, like this is someone I like, and you know, I had only gone on so many like first dates or whatever, and like a handful of them, and I was like, oh, this is a guy like I really like, and he seems to be into me, and like I was excited about it, and I feel like now in reflection, like us like hanging out like every day in a week or whatever, I'm like, it's a lot, and it probably like, because I feel like in the beginning I was like, whoa, you're coming on strong, and then he probably was like, whoa, she's coming on strong, yeah, you know. And so I feel like we were talking about this earlier of like, there's this delicate balance of like not rushing into things, but also not like, you know, waiting too long, and like, you know, I feel like it's a tricky thing of like when, like how often do you know, see this person when you're like first starting to date them, like when is the right time to like kiss them. And I feel like I'm like maybe if I'm reflecting on it, like
Too soon?
Yeah, because we FaceTimed one night. The next night we met up. And then the next night was this, like, fancy formal event where he was taking me as his date. And, like, but everyone else was there with their girlfriends. And, like...
It was kind of like girlfriend by default, I guess.
Yeah, and then, like, we kissed. And then he posted a photo of us on his story. And it was just, like, all...
Did you reshare it?
So quick. No.
No.
Which I remember we were talking about this and I was like, should I?
We spent, like, 40 minutes going over the pros and cons.
Yeah, because it's like, I feel like when you're in, like, a kind of public career, it's, I don't know, like, it's kind of a weird thing to post someone, like, because we post every aspect of our life.
I post so much.
So, like, I would, I post, like, everything I'm doing in a day, so it makes sense to post, like, oh, I'm going on a date tonight, but at the same time, it's like, oh, but what if this doesn't work out, and are they cool with it?
It's hard. It's that, but it's also, like, I'm going to be writing songs about whatever happens.
Yeah.
I also want to protect their reputation, like, be it good or bad. Like, it's not anyone else's business. Like, I guess even, like, you and I, like, our conversations, obviously would never post that, and that's the hard balance between, like, social media and also being, like, an online personality, I feel, and what we're trying to build. Like, we want relatability. We want to be open with people. But, like, there's a line that you can't cross either. And stuff like that is with dating. It's like, do I want the whole world knowing my business? Not really. But then
it's like, it's also
such a
like,
hard balance.
I know. And I feel like I enjoy getting, like, people's opinions on things.
Sure.
Like, so I love posting.
So what do you guys think of my new boyfriend?
Well, maybe not that. But, like, I feel like almost any message I send to a guy has been Lily approved.
Oh, it has been.
Like,
it has been. Same with me, though.
We were in Mexico a week ago, and...
What did we spend? Half an hour?
What was the message? Oh, this guy swiped up on my story of being in Mexico, and he said, what did he say? On my way. He always sends these, like, short, non-committal, like, 3-word messages.
So nonchalant.
Not those 3 words.
We're dreaming. But we went over, like, should it be a comma?
What should we say?
Should it be a full
Should it be a period? A winky face?
There's all the options.
What did we land on? I think we said, perfect, when's your flight? Get in.
We went over all the options, like, perfect, I'll pick you up. Like, no, we don't have a car, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But let's touch on this for a second, because I feel like there's 2 differences. Like, there's situationships I have that are like this. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, do I wait 3 minutes or 5 minutes to respond? And they make your life so difficult. Like, I am freaking out.
I know.
Then there's the guys that actually want you, and they are completely different. And it's like, good morning, like, I want to take you out. And there's such a different situation. Like, I feel we worry about getting distracted, but I feel that when it's a healthy thing, it could actually be a benefit and, like, a person of support.
It's true.
And that's, like, the perspective, like, I'm kind of open to now, but it's
just I know. And it's not as exciting.
Oh, it's not.
But it's also, like, when someone's just sending you 3-word messages or whatever, and, like, it's more just, like, flirty banter. Like, they're not actually trying to get to know you versus, like, the first guy I ever went on a date with on Hinge.
Wait, is this the one?
The sweetest guy ever. You remember him?
He's the one. Didn't someone walk up to you on this date?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, someone did walk up to me on, like, our second date and was like, "Are you Jordana Bryant?" And I was like, "Yeah."
What did he say?
The guy that I was on the date with. I mean, well, like, he kind of got annoyed, which I'm like, okay, this is my career, and if someone comes up to me, I want to spend the time to talk with them. Like, we talked for, like, 10 minutes or whatever, but I wanted to hear they'd been listening to my music, and I wanted to chat with them and show them how much I appreciated that. And I think he was kind of annoyed at that, which is, like,
red flag.
One of the things with, like, when your career is so important, like, it takes precedence, even if you're over, precedent. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. Precedent.
English queen.
It takes precedent over a date that you're on.
Sure.
But what was I going to say about him? Oh, yes. Okay. So he was someone who would send, like, long texts. Like, he would really want to get to know me. What made you want to get into music? How do you like Nashville versus Pennsylvania? Do you think you'll stay here? Like, where's your favorite place that you've been, that you've traveled versus, and it's not as exciting.
Sure.
But it's also, like, that's probably someone who actually cares about you.
Yeah, the right kind of guy.
Versus someone...
We need to stop being toxic. And
which also, why am I still talking to the guy on... Did I tell you that he messaged me the other day that he's going to be in Nashville next week?
Are you going to see him?
I don't know. We'll see. But at the same time, I'm like, probably not.
Because I need you all week, please. Be there for me as a friend.
The first time that... a few months ago. Like, we were talking about going on a date. And then he's like, oh, like, I'm busy with my friends, but I can hang after 10 p.m. I'm like,
absolutely
I'm
not.
sure you can.
Let me just think about it for 1 second.
I will not be hanging out after 10 p.m.
Who does he think he is?
I know. And why is that such a common thing? Like,
it's sad.
I know. I'm like, you can at the very least, like, you know.
To dinner.
Yeah, and like, I want to get to know you. And that's one of the hard things, like, I don't know, I guess with dating today.
Sure.
But I don't know, I guess it's just like the interesting thing about like being on dating apps and stuff and like trying to find someone.
Okay, do you have like, is there a worst pickup line you've ever received?
Oh gosh, on Hinge?
Yeah.
Oh, there's this horrible one. I don't know what he was thinking. But he messaged me on a group photo and he was like, who's the girl on the right? Like, send me her number, but don't tell her that you gave me her number while I still flirt with you.
Absolutely not. The audacity of this man.
I think I will not be matching with you, sir.
Let me think about it for 1 second, would you? Goodness
I know,
me.
right? It's wild. But I feel like the fun thing is we're both going through these like experiences.
We signed up together.
I know,
it's a bonding experience.
And we're going through these experiences together. And I'm sure that next week we will have so many more stories to tell.
Great.
Which is the beauty of the podcast. We'll be able to come back and give updates on our minimalistic progress.
Yes.
In the dating world.
Minimalistic isn't a very nice word.
Are hopefully better than previous.
New and improved.
New and improved. Yes. I like it. Well, thank you so much, Lily, for being on New Friends.
Been so much fun.
I
Thanks for
am
having
so
me,
happy that you were on the first episode. I feel like it was only fitting. And thank you all so much for watching this. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow on Insta.